Hello, friends, and welcome back to Millicraft. On today's episode, we're going to be going over fireworks. As the thumbnail showed, I'm going to show you how to make all of the different colors of fireworks, all of the different types of fireworks, and kind of just go through them one by one with you so that you have a quick guide to making your own for your own survival or creative world, since this is one thing in the creative menu that you can't just find. You have to kind of create them on your own. So let's get started. Fireworks can come in every single color of the rainbow. As long as there's a color of dye, you can make a firework that color. So I'm not going to be going over every single one of the colors, but we are going to be using some of my favorite colors just so that we have them for our demonstration. But at base level, we have regular old firework rockets. If you're not familiar with them, they're the fireworks that can help you fly with your elytra. And they are literally made with gunpowder and paper. So you don't even need to have them in a crafting table. You can just if you're not in creative, you could just use it in your little 4x4 menu with one little tiny thing of gunpowder. One little piece of paper is going to make you 3. If you want to upgrade that to a longer lasting one, we can do a flight duration 2, and you can also do flight duration 3. Now, I'm center clicking with this guy just so that I can have 64 of them. But if you notice, this one flies up about that high. A number 2 is going to fly you way much further, and then a 3, it just keeps going on up there. So you can make that with these basic firework rockets, but those are basic firework rockets. That is not a firework. As you notice, there's no big ball that goes kablooey. It just fizzles out. And you don't want it to do the bad kablooey thing because it could hurt you. So you do want to use these because there's not a big bang at the end. Once you know the basics, it will be very easy to make your own fireworks, except for a few special supplies if you're doing it in survival. So what you need to start with is, for every firework rocket, like an actual firework you want to do, you're going to need a firework star. Now this is like a generic firework star that you can find in the creative menu. I don't even think you can make this. It's only found in the creative menu because if you notice, it's basically just a ball of gunpowder. There's nothing fancy to it. Once we start making these firework balls, you'll see that they have differences. They look different. So you can have any color in the rainbow, including browns and blacks and all that kind of thing. Otherwise, to make all of these different types of fireworks, you'll need any of these following supplies, depending on what kind of firework that you're actually going to do. So if you want one that's going to sparkle and make some additional noises, you're going to add maybe a diamond, glowstone dust. If you want to have instead of a ball, you want it to kind of shoot up in the air, you're going to do a feather. So we're going to go through all of these different effects by how you build them. So here's how. We're going to start with the very basic small ball. And if you want to make a bigger ball, you're going to need some of these fire charges. But to start with, we're going to be making these firework stars. So a firework star, and this is the large ball because I've added a fire charge into it. And I'm going to show you the difference once we get there. So we're going to take some of this red dye. We're going to take some gunpowder. We're also going to take some paper. And then I'm going to take the fire charge and we're going to add it to it here in a second. So first off, crafting table, red dye, gunpowder. Simple as that, you've got a small ball. That's your basic firework, and this is for any color that you're doing. If you want to make a larger one, you add a fire charge to it, and that's going to give it that oomph to make it even bigger. So I'm going to take a couple of these, then I'm going to take a couple of the large balls. So we got the small and the large just to show you the difference in these. And then we're going to take it back to the table, and then we're going to make these balls into the firework rockets themselves. So we need to add some more gunpowder and some paper in order to make these small balls red. And then we're going to switch this out, and then we're going to make the large ball red. And then you can kind of see what they look like in the difference. So here's the small. So just kind of like a 4x4-ish spreading out. And then the large ball, whoosh, and it gives that extra kablooey sound. Look how big those are. Those are big. Those are the big ones that you're going to see at a big festival or something like that. Editor Millie coming in here. I forgot a couple other things, so I've added them to the thing. So we did the large ball and the small ball. What I forgot to mention is that you can also do a fade for colors. So what I mean by that, it starts off one color, changes to another. So in this base process, if you want to start with, let's say we start with the large ball we just did. So if we come in here and put our gunpowder, we put our fire charge, we put our red, we have this really cool large red ball. So we have this for our really large firework. We come out and we put this large one in here and then put more colors, so magenta or a different color. It'll go red and then fade to magenta. And you know what, let's for the heck of it, just because, we're going to put this in here to fade to magenta. We're going to put the paper. We're going to put the gunpowder to make our rockets. And then watch what happens when you put in a mix of colors. So you make one ball and then you add more color to it and it fades into another color. So it's purple, see, red and then to magenta. Red and then into magenta. Next up, let's change it up and we want to make a star shape. So a star shape, you're going to use a golden nugget and let's make it in this orange color. And I'm just going to click all the things that I need and it's going to give us the small ball, but then we want to add the star shape to it. So let's take it back to the crafting table real quick. We're going to take our gunpowder, our orange. We're going to make these into small balls, but then we want the nuggets. So now you see it changes to star-shaped. So then we're going to take those, and then we're going to come out and do it again with the gunpowder and the paper. And that's going to give you a star-shaped orange. Now, one thing I didn't say within the balls, you can also split these up and make larger durations. Whoops, I used my one piece of paper. Make sure we get that. Okay. So you take the paper, you take your star-shaped orange, and then you can actually do multiple of these for how high you want them. So just like a regular firework rocket, you can also make them go higher or lower depending on how many of these you do. So the flight duration is where it's at here. So if we take a firework rocket star at 1, it doesn't even go as high as the box. And we do a 2, way up there, and then we do a 3. Was that a 2? That was the 2. The 2 and then the 3. Look how far up it goes. It goes clear up there for the star shape. So you can adjust where you're going to have your fireworks, especially if you're going to have a big display, and we will go over how to do this in a second. But like if you want like some of them to be like mid-range and some of them to be higher, you're going to make sure that you adjust your amount of gunpowder per how high you want it. Creeper faces. Now, creeper faces, you do need a head of some sort. You do not need just a creeper head. It could be a zombie head, a skeleton head, a wither skeleton head, but you do need a mob head of some sort to create these. And I'm going to take my color, and obviously with these, you're going to need a trident, unless you're doing it creative, to be able to get a charge creeper. Well, I mean to get a charge creeper to blow up another mob. It's a whole thing, unless you have like a farm or something like that. But if you have a couple of them, or you've gone to like an ancient city and gotten skulls and you don't need them for decoration, or heck, a wither skull farm would work the same way. And you can kind of come in and you can put the gunpowder in, and we can put lime green. We can make him creeper shaped. And then we come back out, and then we're going to make the rockets themselves. We're going to shoot them up and see our creeper face. Ta-da! Creeper face! I will say these kind of arrange themselves differently, so you never know exactly which direction their face is going to face. There we go. Ta-da! And it should work with any mob head. Spooky, scary skeleton. So if we come in here and do one of these and one of these, one of these, you're still going to get a creeper-shaped lime. So this is probably, if you have a wither skeleton skull farm, probably going to be your easiest one to be able to make these with. But you can do it with any mob head, including those fellas. Next up, a twinkle, as in like a crackly sound. So if we take our goldstone dust, and you can mix goldstone and the diamonds too, we're going to take our blue and we're going to make some crinkly, like twinkly type rockets. We're going to put the goldstone, the gunpowder, and the blue dye. Now you can even add gold nuggets, so you can make this a twinkling star-shaped blue if you want. So let's do one of those. We'll take this out and we'll make some balls too. And then if we come in here and make these into firework rockets, we're gonna do one with the ball, then we're gonna do one with the star-shaped. And here's the difference. So here is the ball with the twinkle. Pop, 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 pop. And you can do even the star with the twinkle. Pop, 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 and it twinkles as it goes down. So you can actually mix any of the ball sizes or any of these shapes. So you can do the small, the large ball, the star shape, the creeper face, and then you can just give it that pop, 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 pop sound afterward. Next up is the trail effect. So the trail effect is by using a diamond. So we're going to use the trail effect. And what it's going to do is once we add all of those things in, you're actually going to have a trail of the leftovers as it comes down. So see how it trails the purple as it comes down? So what's cool is we can start to add some additional effects to that as we go. So let's say we want to really pump this up. We can do lots of cool stuff with this. So we're going to take the gunpowder, we're going to take our diamond, we're going to take our color. So remember, you always have to have the color and the gunpowder. So now it's a small ball with a trail. Let's say we want it, instead of a ball with a trail, we want a star-shaped purple with a trail. And let's say we really want to do it fancy. We want to do glowstone. So we want to do a twinkle with it. So let's do all of the above. So we have star-shaped, purple, trail, and twinkle in these guys. And we could even pump these up so they go really high. Let's do ones that are really high and ones that aren't so high. So here's the one without it being so high. And it just kind of trails down. And I'm going to kind of let's see. See how it trails down as it goes? We're going to do another one. Ooh, you went way off over there. And then, yep, and then you hear the pop, 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 pop. Crinkle, 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 crinkle. I love it. I'm going to put these in here for a display here in a minute. But you can do any combination of these that you want, including this guy, which is the burst explosion. So we're going to do this one next. And let's grab that, and we're going to grab the white this time. So feathers add a additional level here of burst explosion. So if I take these guys out, I'm going to take these guys. We're going to show you what that looks like by itself. It just kind of... It kind of just does the... Nothing special, just so kind of like a burst. I mean, it is supposed to be a burst, obviously. There, it just kind of pops off, kind of like a bottle rocket, I guess, if what we call those around here. Now, this kind of makes things a little bit more complicated. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to have white. I'm going to put the gunpowder in. We're going to make these feathers. So we're going to do this burst white. We could add the diamond to make it trail. We can make the gold nugget. Now, the gold nugget doesn't work at that point because remember, that's a star shape. So this is a burst. We can make the gold dust. So we can do a burst, a white, a trail, and a twinkle on these. So let's see what those look like. So basic white burst. And then we can do the fancy one. So basic white trail with a burst, which we've already seen. Fancy one. Nice. All right, let's take one of these and we're going to let's plug them into here, and we'll plug them into here. All right, so now that you have the basics for doing all the different kinds of fireworks, What are you going to do with them? Well, you could shoot them off by hand, or you can set up a fireworks display. Now, there's all sorts of ways to do this guy, and basically, you can either do it as a semi-automated, where a piston could push in a comparator, observers together, and they could make a little clock and then go boom, 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 and shoot off a ton. You can have it on a switch. So you just kind of switch it on and switch it back off real quick, and only does a few. You could do a button where it just does it once and just kind of like keeps in its place for an amount of time. What I think is kind of cool is you could do something like this where you put a skulk, you put a skulk center there, and then as people like came by it, it would set it off for a limited time as the sensor was going off. You could also like trigger it by doing a snowball at it, or arrows or something like that as well. You could have a pressure plate on it, but let me shut this off real quick. In essence, this is all you need to do. So in essence, we could have one little dispenser facing up, and then you just need a button on the thing, and then you need to fill it with the fireworks. And then you could just press it up and it would shoot up one. Ooh, and it decided to do the little burst. And you could put a whole bunch of different kinds in there. So that, ooh, that was the big ball. That was the big guy. So at base level, you don't even need the redstone. You just need this and a button. But if you want to really like do a lot, you can redstone them up. Just remember, you can only have lines as long as about 15, so that this powered block here, you count to 15 as far as it can go. So if you want to come out further and you want to extend the line even further, you might need a comparator. Real basic kind of Minecraft setup. Just, you know, set up wherever you're going to start the thing with the button or something like that, and see how the line extended to the button. And then you can press it up and then it can shoot all of them at once. You just need something to activate the thing. And you can hide these underground. You can put them up under carpets. I think you can hide them under carpets, which is kind of cool, or like grass blocks or something along those lines. So if I go, boop, and then shoot it, it'll just shoot at the grass block itself, which is kind of fun. So if I did, boop, and let's see, this one, boop, okay, triggered that. We'd have loaded ground fireworks because of that. Whoop. Lots and lots of fireworks there. So let's have a very quick little display of fireworks at night, and that's gonna wrap up our episode. All right, let's take a look at this little firework display that I've set up at night. I'm gonna use a skulk sensor here. Look at that, so cool. We're gonna do it again because I have more in there. And for those of you who have shaders, let's see what that looks like with shaders too. This is pretty glorious. Happy 4th of July, everyone here in the United States. Those who aren't, happy summer. We're officially in summer. Yay! I'm so excited we're in summer. And it's very dark out. Hold on. There we go. That's better. I hope you all have a fabulous week, fabulous summer. I will be back with another video from, I don't know, we'll see. Well, I'll be back with another video soon. I hope you enjoyed this very short tutorial on how to do fireworks, and I hope this will come in handy for the next time you want to do a celebration of some sort on your server or even in your private world, because fireworks are kind of an overlooked thing. They're fun to play around with, but not everybody, you know, takes the time to do it. I mean, you will have to get lots of gunpowder and paper and colors and source a whole bunch of stuff, but just know that it's not that hard. They aren't that hard to do. So, and it only took me 12, 15 minutes or so to go over all of them with you. So I hope you have a great one. Love y'all very, very much. Give yourselves a hug for me. If you'd like to talk to me or show me your fireworks display, the Discord link is in the link tree for the Craftworks server below. I am found there most of the time. I do not have my own Discord. It is the Craftworks one that I moderate. So I've got my eyes. I'm always looking for new and exciting builds and exciting things like that. And we also have merch for the Craftworks SMP, and Craftworks SMP is going to be starting up season 4 very, very soon with some new faces. Not accepting applications. Unfortunately, this is a closed SMP for creators only. So, but we want to see your stuff, and we want to see if you are a creator in your own SMP. I want to see it too. So come on over, and anyway, have yourselves a great one, and I will see you on the next Gray Box video. Bye, everyone.